Alex, get out of here. I don't have you on the cast tonight. You're not telling this story. Plus, you need the time off. Thank you. Go, get some rest. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Tavern of Tomes. My name is RK Fox, and I am your tavern keeper. I am joined today by my fellow storytellers, Kent Aldrich, Samuel Bowen, Christian Majewski, and the one and only Rachel. And together, we're going to weave a world of myth and legend. You see, the walls of my tavern are lined with leather-bound books filled with blank pages. Once a week here at the tavern, we open a tome at dusk and fill its pages with stories. The world outside is dark and scary. It has its beauties, but they're harder to see at night. So, for the time being, let's leave this world and go adventure, shall we? So, normally here is the part of the show where I would say, last we left off, but we are not picking up anything. We are starting anew, beginning a fresh story tonight. And we are beginning a fresh story with a new sort of system to introduce the world. We are beginning with a prologue, where we are going to be looking at a larger swath of time. We're going to be looking at a full year prior to the campaign's beginning. If you are not one of our regular followers on Patreon, you will not have seen the episodes where we talk about this, but those session zeros are available. So pop over to the Patreon and go find those. Which is patreon.com/Tavern of Tomes. But for those of you who are unaware, I'm going to sort of explain the system we're going to be using. It is a turn-based political intrigue structure. So I'm going to walk us through the rules. We're going to have both teams. They're functioning in teams of two. We're going to have both teams roll initiative, and that will determine sort of the order in which we process this. So we are going to proceed in initiative order following a year-long quote-unquote combat. Rounds will typically last 3 months. There will be 4 rounds in each year, with the final round being a 2-month speed round. Teams will roll initiative using either their intelligence, wisdom, or charisma score, depending on the score they choose. They will gain an additional epistolary, discovery, or rumor phase, respectively, on each of their turns in quote-unquote combat. Each turn has a 40-minute time limit per player or team, and consists of a 2-on-1 with the DM, in which the team gets 2 timed sections and an untimed concealment phase. So Section 1 is the first 10 of the 40 minutes. Section 1 contains the discovery phase, the epistolary phase, the rumor phase, and the initiative phase. These phases may be done in any order at the team's discretion, but must be performed within the allotted time. Players are encouraged to spend the time in between their rounds, or in this case, in between their episodes, planning this section to most efficiently use their time. If time runs out before the completion of a phase, that phase is considered lost and may have negative impacts on the player's reputation, either as themselves or regarding a public persona that they have crafted. There's the discovery phase. The discovery phase consists of a wisdom, perception, or insight check in which a player has the opportunity to discover what one other team or entity within the world may have done in the previous round. This is contested by that player's concealment phase, or if it's just a world entity, whatever that DC is that I set. What is discovered is revealed by the DM according to concealment phase rolls or just generic difficulty classes. The epistolary phase, each player or each team is allowed to write one letter to any one NPC, PC, or organization. For the sake of the fact that this is a team, I will let you each write a letter. I'm going to say your discovery phases probably have to be together, just because otherwise that's way too many things for us to really get this all done in 10 minutes, but I'll give you guys 2 letters since you're probably going to have separate interests. Letters may be accompanied by a ability check or skill check at my discretion, and may influence new rumors to rise or influence the social standing of a PC. Then there's the rumor phase. During the rumor phase, each player or each team is allowed to either successfully start a rumor or escalate a former rumor to a scandal. A scandal does not necessarily denote a negative thing. Rumors may be good as well as bad. Starting or escalating a rumor does not require a check in and of itself. You may choose to do this openly or attempt to do so subtly by rolling a charisma, persuasion, or performance check, or a charisma stealth check, respectively. This roll will either influence how well you have removed yourself from the origin of this rumor or how well your association with the rumor affects your social standing. And then there's the initiative phase. It's a duplication of one of those 3 previous phases, which is based on the modifier that the team uses to roll for initiative. You guys will only be rolling for initiative once, so when you lock in this choice, you are locking it in for all of your episodes for the rest of this prologue, okay? Intelligence is going to grant you an additional epistolary phase. Wisdom is going to grant you an additional discovery phase. If you're investigating the same thing in the secondary discovery phase, all DCs are going to drop by 5. And then Charisma is going to grant you an additional rumor phase. Section 1 is not included in the final round of the year because that round is only 2 months long, and because it's a speed round. Section 2 is 30 of the 40 minutes. Section 2 is 20 minutes long in the final round. So your final round is going to be basically just 20 minutes conceal. Section 2 is reserved for the individual actions a player or team may wish to take in the 3 months before them. This may mean travel, rendezvous, political movement, more letter writing, rumor spreading, or people discovering, and a whole host of other things. The bottom line is you have 30 minutes of real time and 3 months of in-game time. Use it wisely. And then lastly is the concealment phase. This is outside of the allotted time. You're going to choose the 3 moments in your turn that you consider either to be the most important or the ones that you want most hidden from the public eye. And then you roll a dexterity or wisdom stealth check for each event, and we'll do that in chronological order. These 3 rolls are recorded by me and used if another player or team investigates what you're doing. That concludes a team's turn. In total, 1 year of gameplay is going to take us basically 8 episodes to cover. And that is all of the rules on this. How are we feeling? Is that clear?
Clear as mud.
Or clear enough that we can continue?
Stole my line. Yeah.
I
feel like the more we play, the easier it'll be.
Yes, for sure.
In theory, makes sense.
In theory.
Actuation.
Great. Well, luckily, Rachel, you have Sam on your team who has played this before.
Love that.
So you have an advantage.
And Christian, you have Kent on your team who's listened to me DM this before. So,
I mean, listen to you DM
but
this
it's
is a
Kent.
strong term. I was sitting in a room where you were DMing this.
that's fair. That is a fair distinction.
Yeah. He's heard you. It's Kent.
So we will begin this episode. These first 2 episodes of the prologue are going to be a little bit longer because we'll do a couple scenes at the beginning just sort of to get your characters introduced to each other. Because you guys, while you are teams, are all sort of coming from different spaces. And so we'll take a little bit longer to do those intros.
Cool.
So let's go ahead and have each team roll initiative. So each of you select a player that you want to be the representative for that, and then pick your skill that you want to get that initiative phase on.
I mean, Christian, if you want to guarantee we go first, you roll, use initiative, and then Flash of Genius.
True.
I will not allow Flash of Genius for this.
Dang it!
It is technically an ability check.
Yes, but this is more like we're just determining order of play for a year.
Yeah.
This is not that kind of ability check.
Kent, I'm also hungry, so I wouldn't mind making breakfast right now. So,
Vibes.
yeah, I mean, I have a +5 too, but it depends on whether we want an epistolary phase or not. An additional one.
Yeah.
So,
Oh. Yeah. I got a +5 as well. So
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
gonna let you roll, Sam.
So Sam is representing Sam and Rachel's team. Christian is representing Christian and Ken. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Each of
think
you
that's
roll
what we decided.
initiative, and then tell me what ability you're using.
cool.
Okay.
We have team names. Is it like Team Cool versus Team Loser?
Right now, it's Team 1 and Team 2 based on who goes first.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, dang it.
21.
21.
Nope. 14.
Okay.
21.
So 21 is going to be Sam and Rachel as Team 1. And what ability did you use for that?
Intelligence.
Okay. Oh, did you both roll with intelligence?
Yep.
Okay, there are going to be a lot of letters here.
There's going to be a lot of letters.
Boy.
In
Let's go.
classic political intrigue and... Okay, yes, this is going to be great. Well, in that case, why don't Rachel and Sam, you guys go ahead and hop over to the Team 1 chat, and Christian and Kent, you guys go ahead, hop over to the Team 2 chat, and just be prepared that I will pop in and out of those chats to just begin the episodes.
Awesome.
Great. See you
Alrighty.
there.
So
Okay.
now I am all alone. All alone. Just ready to begin a year of mystery, deceit, the massive changes in power structures over a landscape that we are just now beginning to fully understand. Well, hello, Team 1.
Hello, hello.
How are we feeling?
All right.
All right.
Yeah. Again, the more we do, I think the easier it will be in my mind.
Yes, for sure.
So,
Okay, so I think let's begin with sort of just getting into where and how your characters meet. So, Mylar Glass,
that's me.
you
Hi,
have
everyone.
spent the past 2 months sailing across the sea from Enval all the way down to the city of... Reese is pulling it up and didn't have it memorized. You are sailing to, I believe, Lumiere. Let me just confirm one thing. This is the tough thing about running all of my documents on different devices is I cannot remember everything, and I have like 40 documents. Here we go. Let's see. Sorry, I am mistaken. To Tanson, which is the southernmost city on the Isle of Yela, where you are going to be beginning a year-long ambassadorship on behalf of Myth Unending, a company within the Throne Guard Concord. You are coming over to the Quadratica to do the most bizarre version of an ambassadorship I think that has ever graced the political world. You are basically coming as a content creator. You are arriving with the intention of making a TV show, or rather making the next season of a TV show. And over the next year, you are going to be just exploring the landscape and getting to know the local people and all those lovely fun things that you get to do as an influencer and somehow get paid to do. You have... Yes.
Oh, no, I just was...
Oh, okay, you unmuted.
I laughed and
so
realized
was-
my volume was off, so I was like,
Yes.
let me...
Yes. You have recently been given as well what is called a Hexlight implant. Hexlight implants are one of the most recent products of Myth Unending, combining all the benefits of the Hexlight paint and the Hexlight home into a portable... It's basically a phone. For the listeners at home, It's basically a phone. They put little metallic tattoos in the tip of your pointer finger, your thumb, your pinky, and then right at the corner of your palm that is opposite your pointer finger. And in closing your hand and reopening it, a lovely little illusory screen is created as the Hexlight implant connects to the HexNet and pulls up the internet.
Love it.
Creating everything from a fantasy equivalent to Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and all sorts of news articles. The Hexlight implants are new, but part of what you're doing is also spreading the Hexlights to a new nation, to expand the influence of these Hexlights, to connect communities across nations, across seas, and to bring people together in a new and unique way. Your ambassadorship is going to be, in part, overseen, or rather, you are going to be heavily connected to Ethereon, who's the governor of Tansona, underneath the Archon Elisa Picard, a female Visuit, who is a Visuint is like a plasmoid in D&D terms. It is a sort of jelly person who takes on a humanoid shape but is not necessarily bound to. And we're going to pick up just in that first sort of welcoming. You have been brought into the city of Tansona. You are being sort of led down the street. You have your various different guards. You have the throne guard is what they call themselves. The names of these sort of what would normally be like the functioning police or King's Guard in the Throne Guard Concord is just called the Throne Guard. They are seen as synonymous. They're public enforcers, but you have been given sort of a protective security retinue. And you have been led into basically the capital, or like the Capitol building, so to speak, the place where all of the governance occurs underneath Governor Picard in Tansona, and you are being brought to the office of one Ethereon. And so we are going to, as you make your way through these gorgeous marble hallways, beautiful pillar structures, very carefully crafted stonework, absolutely gorgeous, almost one would say not possible to be created by hand, but must have some sort of magical assistance. You are led to the office of one Ethereon, and I will let you two describe to each other the characters that see each other as Mylar Glass enters Governor Ethereon's office.
Amazing. Well, first you see just this decked out in bright colors, big smile, high elf, with long flowing brown hair, big grin on her face, and just is taking everything in. She's trying to chat up different throne guards, be like, oh my god, so how long have you been working here? I definitely am gonna need an interview with a local of what it is like to be a part of this police government thing. This is amazing. Like, how do you do this job? Like, what are your hours? Do you feel like you get compensated enough? Oh my god, wait, hi!
The throne guard is just sort of standing there like, I came with you on the trip over. I am from the throne guard. We are in the Quadratica.
I forgot. Well, just stand by because I may need you for an interview at some point. And sometimes I like to do, like with my little from foreign to faves, have another local person just to get their thoughts and their insights. And, you know, because sometimes like I just don't like to eat by myself. But anyways, hi, my name is Mylar Glass. I am here as an ambassador. What's your name?
Yeah, so first thing you would see is probably the back of his chair. Like,
ooh, mysterious. I like it.
Like,
Gonna like zoom in on the chair.
Yes.
Yeah, you will also see a high elf. Kind of
Twinsies.
looks like a classic like businessman.
Wearing a full
Short
suit.
hair, full suit, full tie. Like
Or whatever
it's
fantasy interpretation there is in the Quadratica. Yes.
the fantasy equivalent of like business form.
Yes, yeah.
And just sort of has been completely silent and just shakes your hand. It's like, I am Ethereon.
So nice to meet you. So I hear that we are basically going to be besties over the next year and we're going to hang out. I am so excited and so honored to bring me and my viewership to the Quadratica and just to help people understand the misinterpreted life of people here. I totally understand myself, which is why I started this channel in the first place, to help people understand those who maybe aren't quite well known or quite understood. I believe that everybody should be known for who they are. Nice to meet you, Ethereon. Mylar Glass. Wait, can we grab a selfie? Just gonna like
Yeah.
and like just come over and like stand awkwardly close and just snap a quick photo and then run back around the desk and be like, oh my god, thank you so much. Okay.
Yeah, and as you snap this photo, the illusion in your hand very quickly, like, you can see the brushstrokes of the painting that is being formed in this image, replicating what you just took a picture of. It's absolutely gorgeous. Your hair is on point. It made adjustments to correct the, like, little things that you're like, oh, I really wish that would have been better. Yeah, just quickly shifted to make it already perfect. All right. And so these are the two characters that we are going to be focusing on with Team 1 for the next 3 months. So you guys each have been given mission briefings by your respective sort of direct reports. And so I am just going to turn it over to you. As we begin, we'll do at first the 10-minute section 1. So you guys have 2 letters that you can send, or rather it's 2 letters each because you both chose to use the intelligence roll. So you each have 2 letters that you can send. The discovery phase, if you want to learn anything about recent occurrences, and then the rumor phase to start some fun little rumors or just to spread some ideas about the talk of the town.
Okay.
So what would you like to start with? Your time starts now.
All right.
Go for it, Sam.
Yeah, I'll start us off. I'll start with sending a letter.
Okay.
I want to send a letter to Antonio Sebastian Alcalade.
Okay. Alcalde.
Probably butchered that. Yeah. It's the mana drop.
Yes.
Just to see if he's had any people come in recently, or if he's heard anything about geomancy.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, so first things first, I'll just give you that response now. You get a response that basically surmises sort of what you expected, that, you know, nobody huge new has come in. You do get word back of a smaller group of geomancers who have sort of been just practicing out in the jungles. Obviously, geomancy, very popular, very big practice in the Quadratica in general, but there are smaller sects that practice in like loose circles and are more like tribal in nature. And he just sort of gives you the location of like 2 or 3 hot spots of like, okay, here are some places that like I've heard there's some geomancy going on, and it's not typical geomancy to my knowledge. There's something about it that's a little different, but I can't exactly put my finger on it.
Well, that's very helpful. And then I think I will send another letter.
Okay.
think I'll just send it back to Antonio.
Okay.
As a sort of like furthering the correspondence, sort of like. By the way, there's this Mylar Glass. Keep me updated on like public opinion of her, so that we can kind of gauge if she's gonna be like helpful, harmful.
Yeah, for sure.
Just so that we can sort of get a feedback of what her reputation is.
Yeah.
How things go.
Absolutely. So the first thing that you do get back from him regarding that is that Mylar Glass is fundamentally like a content creator. She's basically been the equivalent of like a reality star of a TV show, of basically a sort of TV. So for everybody at home, as well as Rachel, just so that you understand, the Hexlight implants, that's a new development. Those have been on the scene for like a month maybe, and you were one of the first people to get one.
Amazing.
And so obviously you're familiar already, but like you were functioning as like a normal reality star for a while. Now you're shifting into that influencer realm because of the way that this technology works and has become available. And so what you get back from Antonio is like, from what we can tell, she's basically just a public figure who has no legal standing. Like, her being an ambassador is new. But as of recent, like that's the only thing. Historically, she's just been a person that people listened to, and that was it. There was nothing more. It was just people listened to her and watched her. Like, it's such a foreign concept to the Quadratica to have a public figure who has no legal standing, has no legal say, and just has a voice that people care about. And so that's sort of what you get back on that. Okay. Mylar, I want to toss it to you. Do you want to send any letters?
I do. I first want to send one to Sylvain.
Sylvain.
Yeah, Sylvain. Just, letting him know that I got here,
Okay.
that so far that the Hexlight implant seems to be working great. Just making sure, is there any specific wording that they want me to use as I am promoting this stuff? Just like all of the things. Thank him again for sending me. I'm like so excited. This is going to be amazing. And then, just like in a little bit of the letter as well, be like, also, please, for the love of God, give me something serious to do. And it's just like, and that's like kind of scratched out, but like the wording is still there.
Yeah.
Like,
And if I may, I would imagine that, you, because of the way that your position operates, you don't even have to bother with like a normal letter. You this is like you're typing it up on the Hexlight, sending it across the HexNet.
Send a DM, obviously.
Exactly. And you get back basically an email from like the office of Sylvain Marchand. You are not, from Sylvain Marchand Vutherin, you're not getting back like a direct message from him. Like, it's clearly like they send you a little bit of copy to use, just like those basic things. And they send you a message basically saying, as much as you do not feel this is the most serious thing that you can do, for us, this is the most serious thing that you can do. However you choose to use it, this is the most serious thing. There's a little bit of them like tipping the hand to show you like we genuinely need you to be doing what you're doing.
Love being important.
So
love being an asset. Amazing. Okay. And then am I able to kind of figure out, or maybe I need to ask Ethereon, who maybe of the politicians that I've heard of is like the youngest, the coolest, the most down with the vibes? Just,
so funny. That would be a question to ask Ethereon. So if you want to send that letter, to Ethereon to sort of get this information.
Yeah, I'll ask Ethereon. Like
Sure.
I'm looking for someone to kind of be my but I also need them to be, how do I put this? Aesthetically pleasing, because my viewers have a certain level of expectations. I'm not saying they have to be like the most gorgeous person, but it definitely helps with the viewership if I have someone that's not, well, you know, but also open to whatever.
Yes.
Just mainly about the vibes.
For sure. So Ethereon, I'll just sort of hand you this knowledge. You know that like the race of the Gens are not considered traditionally attractive to most humanoids. The sort of concave nose is not exactly normally attractive. The yellow greenish skin, not things that they're normally pulling on. However, you do know that the Archon Yves Chopin, who is over Lumières, is relatively like, he is obviously still a male human politician, but he is like he's got dark skin, some really well maintained hair. He like is very much values the grooming necessary to stay in the public eye from both a like social communicative perspective, but also from a like knowing that everything about who you are communicates. And so you think he might be a good person to sort of recommend.
Yeah, I would definitely send my art that way. And I might, if I could, sort of give him a heads up, like, hey,
Yeah.
this person's coming, be prepared.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you give him the heads up. Great. Let's see. Next we have rumor phase. What rumors would you guys like to start?
Yeah. I think I would like to start the rumor that Mylar Glass is like someone that people should listen to. As sort of like, this is our chance to get like a new perspective from like a different culture. Like, we should give her the chance, kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Great. Go ahead. This is obviously, I'm just going to give you the rumor on the table. I want a persuasion check from you, just to sort of get a feel for how well this takes off. And actually, I'll say that I want a persuasion check from you, Ethereon, because you're sort of doing it during through sub networks. I want a persuasion check from Mylar as well, just to see how far this shakes off, just for her initial public appearances.
Great. Hold on. Persuasion. Okay. 18 for me.
Okay.
24 from you.
24. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I will say, not only does that rumor stick, but it sticks strong. It's like one of those things where you're like, okay, this is not a full scandal, but it's certainly accelerating itself. You know, there are some rumors that you have to like you've been a politician for a little bit. You know that there are some that you have to come back to in order to maintain them. This is not one of them. It will keep itself going. Yes. And then, Mylar, I also want to give you an opportunity to start a rumor should you want to.
Okay. I would love to start a rumor that the Hexlight implants are really, just have improved my life by 1,000%. And
Okay.
so, yeah, just
Yeah, definitely.
Everyday life better.
Yes, and I'm sure 100% pulling from some of that copy of like, the entirety of the hex nut on a wave of your hand. How great of an improvement, like things like that.
Yes.
For sure. And then the last thing is that that discovery phase. So is there anything that either of you sort of want to look into as we're sort of beginning and opening this year?
Yeah. Ethereon would love to kind of look into more of the hex light using sort of his off-continent.
Yeah, your connections.
Just to get a little bit more information of like, since she's like promoting this, like, can we kind of get more information about like what this is? Because like,
yes, for sure. Go ahead and give me either a perception or insight check. And I will give you, because you're using like a network, I will give you the option of doing an intelligence perception check.
you sure you want to do that?
Yep.
Okay.
It makes sense for the roll. That just means use your intelligence, and if you are proficient in perception, add your proficiency. Otherwise, it's just your intelligence.
Yeah, so it'll be a +8
Okay.
to the roll. Okay. That will be 17.
Okay. Very good. So you want to know a little bit more about the hex lights is really what the question is?
Mhm.
Okay. So 17, because you're off continent, you'll get less information than if you were just there investigating yourself. But with the 17, what I'll give you is the hex light, as I mentioned earlier, is sort of like the infomercial, is a development on the hex light home. Basically, a series of 4 runes that could be placed on any singular surface and would create an illusory panel to communicate information. It's also a development on the hex light paint, which is basically, as we understand it, a camera captures an image by doing the quickest possible painting. In half a second, it recreates, it's like Polaroid style, recreates the thing in front of it by painting it, though. And it basically combines those two technologies into a series of runes that you can get here, and there. On these 3 fingers and that palm. Close your hand, open it, creates a full illusion, connects to what is called the hex net. A series of, basically, it's like a cloud, as we understand it, housed within the weave itself. And the hex lights basically pull that information out of the weave onto the illusion. And so it's
Great.
it's a lot of divination, enchantment, and illusion magic. So, then last thing, we'll pop over to Mylar. Is there anything you would like to spend some time in your discovery phase looking into?
Yes, I would love to just learn about the local magic and government, just kind of get the like history 101 of the Quadratica.
Yeah, for sure.
How they function and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and give me, how are you going to go about this? Because I would say I'll give you either just a generic perception or insight check, or I would give you a charisma perception check using like your like just charismatic interaction with people to sort of elicit that information.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, be talking with people. Kind of Ethereon. I plan to contact Ives. Is that his name?
Yeah,
and
Ives
just kind
Chappelle.
of. Yeah, just kind of riz him up and try and be like, oh my god, tell me all about this place, and so fascinating.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Go ahead and give me that charisma perception then.
Okay. So what I add my
charisma modifier, and then if you're proficient in perception, add your proficiency bonus. If not, it's just charisma.
Okay. Yes. So 17.
17 again. Okay, great. With that, I'll say that really all you are able to discover is like the government is a series of like there's no central government. It is 4 archons over 4 different city states: Lomière, Tonsana, Villemont, and Belleville. And those archons sort of stand as monolith leaders over these cities. They obviously have governance underneath them. But that's not really like they sort of stand individually apart from each other until the Quadratica is threatened. They come together to protect the Quadratica. Their big thing is we want to be left alone. We live a peaceful life. Like, you know that it took Myth Unending doing some like political conversations with the Quadratica in order to even get you to do a year-long ambassadorship there. And so you get some information regarding that. You also learn a little bit about the local magic regarding, like, they have strong influences of this geomancy magic, which is sort of like for them, it is not just like, normally you'd consider geomancy to be like a non-arcane sort of primal magic, but there are definitely like, how to look for arcane sources, just because you are an arcane spellcaster. You are heavily interfacing with arcane magic all the time as part of Myth Unending and as part of the Throne Guard Concord. You're like, okay, it's definitely not fully arcane, but there are touches there. And then there's also something that's pseudo-religious about it. Like, there is an aspect of maybe divine magic. You can't quite tell, but it almost looks like it could be like there are touches of everything in it. But it definitely seems more primal than anything in larger society.
Cool.
So,
with the learning about the kind of how the cities operate on like an individual basis,
yeah.
do I also discover anything about those leaders, like just kind of are some more approachable than others, or some more, as I'm kind of going around, because I figured I would, in the first 3 months, try and meet with all the leaders, introduce myself as an ambassador.
Yeah, and we'll get to like those individual interactions and that stuff. Okay. This is more just like, we're giving you the loose knowledge at this point. We'll get to the specifics as you get into the rest of those 3 months. But for now, we stick with just the basic knowledge of the Quadratica, and then that little like just tinge of information about geomancy.
Perfect.
So that is your section 1. Took a little bit longer than expected, but I think we got some good, valuable stuff out of that. We now move into the 3 months before you. So what would you guys like to do with that time? You do not have to necessarily move together. There is sort of an expectation that you will interface a little bit, but I want to sort of just toss it up to you guys. What are you interested in doing?
Sam?
I mean, I'd like to see if I can send some people kind of to those tribal groups of geomancers to kind of see what they're about.
Okay. I will say,
if there's anything they need,
Yeah, I will say you do not have a super large network of people at your behest. You have a large network of people you can call information from. So if you want to find out more information about these hotspots, you may have to make those individual adventures or ventures that you make as the governor. Like, you could pull public resources and pull like Tonsona resources if you make that as the governor of Tonsona, I am going to go to some of these hotspots to sort of investigate these like tribes and sort of how can we integrate them into Tonsona society. If you are looking to do this more from like a distant perspective without pulling resources from the city, you could do it individually and like take some time away and do it under like vacation time. And
I think I would try and sort of give that sort of information of where these people are to Mylar Glass as sort of like, hey, this would be great for like interviews and things.
Oh,
Try to
okay.
get as much information as you can about these people. I think that would be great for you and what you're trying to do. Totally not me.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay, so I'll say you drop that information in Mylar Glass's lap. This is, over the first week of the year, you guys are sort of just getting integrated into the society again. But Mylar, sort of at the end of this first week, you have this potentially very rich opportunity in front of you of a couple of different hotspots of unique, like, subcultures of the Quadratica that are like, they fall politically outside, but they're within the landscape. It's like already a great story.
I can just see the viewership exploding because of this. Mylar cannot thank you enough for the opportunity. When do we leave? Do I need anything? Should I bring like gifts? Oh my god, I forgot. Was I given extra hexlight
You
implants or no?
you have been sent with a technician who can do hexlight implants. So
Okay.
it's I think the cost of getting a hexlight implant is roughly 500 gold. They have told you to sell it, like the copy you get is hexlight implant sale 500 gold.
Got it. Okay.
So basically, they're selling at even, mostly just to spread it.
Okay.
So
Perfect. Yeah, so I love this opportunity. Very excited. I think I will definitely take it. I think first, because I am an ambassador, I need to do my job, and I will stop over and first connect with Ives.
Yeah.
And because he's over Lumiere.
Lumiere.
that-
Yes.
Lumiere. So just kind of do like different touch points, and I will come with like gifts at home. I will walk them through the beauty of hexlight and hexlight implants and hexlight home, and just like not sell it too hard, but just kind of talk about how it can be super helpful to a government, but also no pressure. Like, we are just here to learn more, share a little bit of my story of like how I got started, and a lot of people didn't understand what it's like to be an OV. Is that, am I saying right?
OV.
OV, but I just really found that when you're open and when you are engaging, that people they're less scared of you, and they just really understand. So I'll stop by. Sorry, that was very long to say. I'll stop by Ives first.
Okay.
Get to know Elisa, Eva, and Imran. Were the other names I'm assuming I was given by the.
Yes, you were given those by Myth
Sylvain.
Unending. Yeah, by Sylvain.
Okay. So I'll stop by all of those places first.
Okay.
Introduce myself.
Sounds
have
good.
like a tea or coffee.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
that's so stopping by every single one of the archons. I will also say you can only visit 2 in each month.
Okay.
Like that was sort of part of the agreement, is like you can only hit up to 2 in
right.
each month. So in the first month of the year in Galatempus, I'm assuming you're going to start with Elisa because she's in Tansona where you started, and then you also wanted to make yourself over to Ives in Lumiere. So Elisa is friendly to you. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check just regarding like selling the hexlight home and hexlight implants to them.
It was only a 10.
Only a 10. Okay. She is a Visui. She is that like plasma, like gel, like ooze humanoid. Even you are thrown off a little bit. Like, you're used to the unusual. And she is even a little bit hard for you to like get a grip on, of like, how do I sell to this person? And like, you're thrown off a little bit. You don't sell one to her, but you do sell one to like, you sell a couple to like her, like other governors underneath her. So it starts to get instituted, but it's not like, you do not sell super well in Tansona, but that's okay for now. You just need to get the ball rolling. Elisa is not like, there's no bad blood, there's no like frustration there. you head over to Yves Chopin in Lumiere, and he, go ahead and give me that persuasion check again.
Okay. Ooh, better. 19.
19, yes. So Ives is hesitant, I will say, but he is much more, like you said, or like I said earlier, he is like, he's up with the times. He is keeping himself in fashion, well groomed. He knows that part of what makes people interested in a leader is their contemporary nature. And so he, while he is hesitant, does agree to get a Hexlight implant. His whole team gets Hexlight implants while you're there. He he dedicates city funding to that. And so I will say that you have already sort of placed that, and immediately they are loving it. You're there for like a week in Lumiere, and they are loving all of their work. Like it's sped up their environment so much, and they're like, we can communicate so much faster this way. Like obviously,
I know, right?
not with my accent, but with like they're all like in this French accent, like it is absolutely amazing. We love it. And so, yeah, so you make those two connections, and those are your two connections for the first month. What would you like to do further?
Can I ask, how was my viewership? Because I would like kind of do not full recordings, but how was my viewership with Elisa versus Ives? Because I'm like online, I'm interacting with my viewers like the whole 9 yards.
Here's the interesting thing. Your viewership spikes on both of them, but the comments section completely different.
Okay.
Because Elisa, there's like this sense of like fascination and also like a little bit of disdain for like this, like she's a little bit colder on camera, whereas Ives is sort of like, he's friendly, he knows how to be in front of a camera, and knows how to like, act even just like, in public very well. Elisa probably holds her position on a basis of intelligence, not charisma, whereas Ives holds his basis on charisma.
Okay.
And that really comes through in your viewership, where it's like, oh, like with Elisa, this is a very smart person and you draw a different kind of audience. Ives pulls just your generic populace very well.
Okay, cool.
So,
Love it.
Before we get to Mylar heading down for her trips to those little tribes, at home, Ethereon, is there anything you wish to be doing?
Yeah. I think I'll try to I kind of want to get some lackeys to run around for me.
Okay, yeah, you want to start building a
so
little bit of a network.
I want to start maybe putting out like, not like for the government side of things, but just like.
Yeah, you want some personal hires.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's like, I want to start putting up some like flyers, some like, if you're looking to do some work, like looking for work, you need something, like come here.
Okay. Are you selling this as as Governor Ethereon, or are you selling this as who are you what are you selling this as?
It would probably just be titled under Children of Consequence.
Okay. Yes. Great. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check. And I'll say with advantage, because you're not doing face-to-face interaction, you're just making the posters and putting them up. And also, you're seeing hex lights begin to appear within government, and you're like, this is interesting. Like, there's just of note that's occurring.
Yeah. 18.
18. Yeah, for sure. Go ahead and roll 3d12 for me.
11, 3, and 2, so that's 16 total.
Okay. You have 16 lackeys, basically, who have sort of signed up on a I will do whatever basis.
Hey, I love desperate people.
Huh?
I love desperate people.
Yes. Always the best
Great.
thing to have when you need people to do whatever you want. Anything else you want to do?
I would like to see if there's any, like, since Hexlight's sort of popping up everywhere. Just kind of.
Well, it's
put out
not
feelers
popping
to
up
see, like,
everywhere yet. It's just popping
like
up in
in
your
government.
government. Yes.
I just want to see, like, if people are, like, being told a lot about it, or if it's just, like, get this new thing, and, like, not getting any of the, like, side effects or anything that might occur.
What do you mean side effects? There are no side effects to the Hexlight.
I know. It's just, like, are there no downsides to this?
There do not appear to be downsides aside from the fact that like you've got like this faint metallic rune in each of these points. It's like it's a very intricate rune that's drawn. It's like it is tattooed on basically with a particular type of ink. It's like spell ink basically, but turned into tattoo ink, and it's metallic, and it's got like it's just a very complex rune evoking all the necessary magics to pull off such a complex piece.
Interesting.
Yeah. But there don't appear to be any downsides.
Interesting.
Aside from the 500 gold you have to spend to get one.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking that I might want to start a bit of a rumor.
Okay.
Of X-Light might be too good to be true.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
And sort of do it kind of more to kind of like the tavern, the mana drop.
Okay.
Kind of through more like word of the people rather than like actual sources. Sort of like conspiracy theory, like
Okay.
nonsense. But just to see if it would catch on.
Go ahead and give me that charisma check.
Just straight charisma?
Yep, just a straight. Well, I'd give you persuasion.
Okay. 25.
The rumor does take. It's taking alongside the rumor of Hexlight implants have like heavily improved Mylar Glass's life. Like those two rumors are sort of coinciding, where it's because it's currently only spread to government, it's not spread to the masses. The government is still like a little critical of it. They've seen the evidence of what it's done for Mylar because they've talked to her, but it is like this. The two ideas are sort of growing at the same time of like, wow, Hexlight implants are really useful. Hexlights might have downsides and we just don't know what they are,
Mm-hmm.
I take it I hear that rumor as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. You're completely caught up on this. These are like obviously as the HexNet is developing to include the government, there are like forums that begin to develop that are like specifically just for the government, like governmental people who are like anonymously posting about this. And like the big idea that you keep getting is she says it's really good and really helpful. And I'm not seeing that that's not true, but what is the cost long term? Like, is there a cost long term? We're not seeing anything now, but.
Great.
So you see that. Why don't we go ahead, pop over to, and you guys have 4 minutes left in your time. So we're going to pop over and just go ahead, hit as like sort of the last thing in this earlier section, this first 3 months, just because of the way timing worked out, of where you're going to stop in on one of those hot spots with that tribe.
Yeah. I'll pick one. I'm also going to leave the technician at home. Like, this is very much, I want to spend a couple of days. First couple days, really just get to like immerse myself in the culture, do a lot of observing, and then if it seems like I build trust, then ask if I can record and just like do it for my channel.
Yes, for sure. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check. You have a shared language. One thing that does stick out to you, actually, tell me what languages you know.
Oh, I think I forgot to pick. Where am I from? Obviously.
Obviously you would speak Jean. You would speak Common. I think is an OV. If you have a third language, I think you do, given whatever background. And your third language might be your last one. I think you do speak deep speech. As an OV, which is one of the things that like you sort of had as like a tough selling point as a content creator, was that you were an OV, and OV have like this deep, like inherent deep speech knowledge. There's a little bit of a taboo around it, but you were able to sell it. You have a shared language with them, but the language is deep speech. It is not Jean's. They're sort of out in the boonies of this like hyper tropical area, so to speak, and they are speaking deep speech. That is their primary language. So you don't have to come in and learn a new language, thank goodness. There are like some small dialectical things, but you do come in and you're like, oh, they are very outside of our culture. And so that's something that you immediately clock. You're like, I don't know how this will sell back home.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
You.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. Give me the persuasion.
Oh yeah. 21.
Okay, 21. Yeah. So first things first, they would allow you to film after you're like towards the end of your time there. They are very like, even before you film, they're very curious about the hex light. Go ahead and give me also, while you're there, an Arcana check.
Okay. Only a 12.
Only a 12. Okay. So you notice in their form of geomancy that they practice even more of that unusual quality of what was sort of in the culture at large. And you're like, okay, whatever is unusual about what the culture at large has in geomancy, this is even more so there. Like, it's that unusual. You're like, is it primal? Is it divine? Is it arcane? This version is even less clear where it falls in that distinction.
Okay.
And so that's sort of the big thing that you notice. So I do have to ask, would you film? Would you get footage?
I would get footage. I wouldn't upload it.
Okay.
Just yet. I would hold on to it.
Okay. Would you send it back to Sylvain, or would you hold on to it entirely?
I trust Sylvain. I think like he's been good. I've had no reason. I would send it to him.
Okay, sounds good. You send it to Sylvain, and he says, "This is very interesting and very valuable. Thank you very much." Like that's, and you can tell like this came back fast enough. It's not from the office of Sylvain.
Okay, it's from him
Sylvain Marchand's Vutherin himself.
Okay.
So, yes. Anything you would like to do in closing Ethereon?
I think I would just like to spend probably as much time as I can and just sort of gathering up people, because I have a feeling I might need some boots on the ground.
Yeah,
just
for
to
sure.
be kind of eyes and ears and mouths.
Okay, if you're going to echo that, go ahead and give me another 3d12.
Great. 9, 4, and 10 is 23.
23. Okay. So that's up to 39 lackeys at your behest.
Great.
Okay, great. In that case, we move to your concealment phase. So is there anything that you guys specifically would like to hide as being connected to you? And it's okay if the answer to this is no. That is a completely valid thing.
No, I'm pretty open right now.
Okay. In that case, Ethereon, is there anything you'd like to...
Yeah, I would like to kind of separate the children of consequence, gathering up people in
Yeah,
Ethereon as sort of
Great.
separating them.
Go ahead and give me either a wisdom or dexterity stealth check.
That's not great. I have proficiency in stealth. I do not. That's a 4.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay, great.
Echo.
That's cool. Okay. In that case,
I can work with it.
thank you guys so much. We are going to conclude this episode of Tavern of Tomes. Oh boy. Thank you all for joining us. You're always welcome at the tavern. And come back next week, because this story's not over yet. We love you all. Good night.
Bye.